So I'm Dan.
I'm Nick, folks.
And we, as a
Together, as a duo,
form.
Always in perfect unison.
Yeah, unisyncrasy.
We form the
Unpanderers. Unpanderers.
Yeah. That's us, folks.
.com.
And if you're listening, you're an umper.
Mm.
How about that? I remember our first umper, Alaska. Keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, I don't think he's or she's there anymore. I think we lost.
The internet went down for a little bit. They'll pick up.
Well, winter hit and they had to go indoors for a while.
Mm-hmm. They'll be back.
They don't have internet indoors, only outdoors.
A lot of catching up in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to tell everyone what we do here.
It's a conversational podcast. We share giant ideas.
Well, you know when you go to sleep, and it's just dark, and there's a rumor there might be a snowstorm, and you wake up and you can see the glow like it's brighter than it should be when you open your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's quieter than it should be. You just know before you even look that snow is everywhere.
Ooh.
It's like this podcast, except with words. Huh? Like
Yeah, I do. I do quite like that. Oh.
It's like you can, and there it is. You smile anyway. You got to be 18. These opinions aren't ours.
Yeah.
You can't sue us. You just can't. It's impossible. You can't
It's
unemploy us. How about that, employers?
Fun infotainment.
Try us. We'll sue you.
We're going to win. We're going to win because of that disclaimer. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So where did we begin? I don't even remember. It's been a little while.
It's been a while. We've been doing a lot of copping out, as we call it, the Unpanderers.
Holidays, gaming.
Women. Am I right? Video games. Am I right?
Those damn video games, man.
Mm-hmm.
Taking up all my time, wanting me to push their buttons.
Sounds just like the women.
Mm-hmm.
How would you rate the 3 games we played?
What
Destiny
games?
2, Dead by Daylight, maybe a 3rd game?
The Forest.
The Forest. That wasn't bad.
Forest had a unique feel to it, but it was very basic.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but the last time we played it, it was just like missing something. I couldn't put my finger on it. I think it's missing like the safe zone, like the jumping through the doorway to be like, ha-ha, screw you.
Get the killer. They amped the killers. We know it.
Yeah. And then,
folks, we were not bad. They cheated.
They cheated us. Mm-hmm. And then Destiny 2, I liked, but it was empty.
Hollow.
Yeah.
Very hollow. Well, there you have it, folks. We're video game experts right here.
Yeah.
Broke it down for you.
Yep.
Do you want to hear something terrifying I talked to Dildan about?
Oh, sure. Start off with Dildan.
Let's do it with video games. We can call it a smirk smile. I don't know. I wasn't even planning on going here, but I talked to him today. And he plays Destiny, and his problem is he never gets people to really join him. And he needs to do like a nightfall or a raid or whatever. He just needs people.
Yeah.
So he's just trying randomly, just like, he'll invite people and then write something like, hey, I'm just trying to do a raid real quick. Can you help? Or whatever.
And they're like, have you done it before? And then like, psh, no.
No. He doesn't get any responses.
Doesn't get anything.
Like, people don't help him. And I thought, that's crazy. And then I was like, well, what if I was 16, 17, 15, somewhere in that range, playing this game every day? Like, I'm grinding. I'm a master.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in perfect English messages me with the right punctuation and like the capitalization. Can you help me with a raid real quick?
Perchance.
I'd be like, is this dude 30? and I said that to Dildan on the phone, and he was like, you think? And I was like, I mean, maybe he just can tell all these people are like, look at the old dude. I ain't helping the old guy. And like, you wouldn't know, would you? Ever?
I mean,
an old person doesn't know they're old.
That's true.
Who do you, Dan? Do you think there are ways you don't know you're old?
I think I'm still like 25 in my mind. Like, I've gotten smarter since college, but only a little bit.
I think 15-year-olds could find you online. They'd know. They'd avoid you.
They'd look up my handle on Dan and be like, yep.
Handle. Let's get away from this creepo.
We've looked at his YouTube channel. We've seen all his websites. Looked at his bank accounts.
We've seen his history. We know what this guy's into.
Yeah. We could see his passwords written on the piece of paper next to him because there's a reflection in the room somewhere.
But, I mean, we wouldn't know, so that's kind of weird. Maybe we're already old.
Yeah, we're already being left out of things.
Time's passing by.
Yeah, I look at my son, who's very young. He's a toddler. And he just enjoys everything so much. And it's just amazing that he thoroughly enjoys all of his time. And here's my smirker smile.
Go for it.
Is that I let him run wild and free, completely nude. Like the first time I was like, no diaper, just run, do the first thing you want to do. The first thing he did was went to the softest stuffed animal that he has, and he rubbed his body all over it.
Oh, yeah. He was getting his groove on.
Yeah. It was a giraffe.
Pervert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, a giraffe. He's riding the giraffe.
Yeah.
Taking that long by the ears. Neck to Gravy Town. Right?
Yeah.
Understand?
Of course.
Well, if he's looking back, he's going to hear about this, and not a lot of 7-year-olds are doing that.
Yeah. I feel like I have the adult mind, which is the mature mind. I have the childlike mind, and then I have the
childlike mind.
It's over. Yeah, it's over here to the left. I guess.
Which one looks at adult videos?
This is. there's 3 of them. I didn't. So there's the perverted adult mind.
There's one in there.
Yeah, it's the trihemisphere, and so when he grabbed the trihemisphere, when he grabbed that giraffe, I just thought. Like he had it right by the ears, and I just thought, deep throat. That's the longest, longest neck there is.
The definition of deep throat.
Yeah,
you're right.
Literal, very little. We're gonna get banned.
Yep. Pervert Channel X. Well, I don't know if any of you know, but
nice shirt. That's quite classy. Did you try to climb that pole, but it was greased and you fell off?
I would have. The Eagles won.
Yeah.
We're doing this the day after going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah.
It's still a little in disbelief, but what's funny is I could do a whole hour on this subject.
I know you could.
Like, football has kind of been my life. Like, not really, but, like, it's ingrained everywhere else I go, so I pay attention to it. Nice nose job there.
Oh, just near. Yeah, you got.
Right on the mic. I like that. No, on the mic. But I'm used to them losing. I almost enjoy them losing. I like being perennial losers. Because then your fandom is more real, I feel like.
You feel
like no one's like, I'm going to be an Eagles fan, like an outsider. Like, I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like, there's no faking being an Eagles fan.
That's what they're talking about in the locker room. They're talking about Eagles fans and how shitty they are. Because they,
of course. Oh, yeah.
Shit on people. Like, almost literally. They throw shit at people. And it might actually be shit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, kind of.
They're just extremely passionate, but they're so used to not winning that it's almost like a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like I suffered worse than any of your fan bases. Hence, I'm better, is the feeling that they get. Because, I mean, most people have a championship or 2 or 3 or...
Have the Eagles won any championships at all?
They won in 1948, 1949, and then 60. Okay. So they were a good team, but they didn't change it to the Super Bowl until 62, I think. Okay. So they were 2 years early, and they haven't won since.
So in terms of recent victories, it's Phillies...
08, and before that was 83, the Sixers.
And then Flyers, and then Eagles.
Well, and there's an 80. I think the Phillies won an 80 as well.
80? Huh. So they got
one every 10 years if you break it down.
Yeah.
And that's for 4 sports, not one sport. Time. So, per sport, it's probably one every 40. Anyway.
So you get to see one in your lifetime.
Well, I guess.
Maybe. We'll find out.
What's interesting is the Eagles won yesterday, and it was such a good feeling. Like, you love winning. I love everything about it. But I guess when you're losing, everything feels like it lasts longer. Like, from Catch-22, Dunbar says to Yossarian he loves being bored because it makes the time go by so slowly. Everything. So he never wants to be too excited because then before he knows it, it's a week later or a year later or a dozen years later. So if you lead like a crazy fun-filled life, like you blink and it's over.
It's gone.
So he just wants to constantly be bored. This way the time drags by. He's just staring at a wall. And what's interesting is this Eagles postseason has gone quicker than any postseason I can ever remember. Like,
I meant to watch a game, but I haven't.
Well, you should, because they were good games.
Yeah.
But like now, I can almost picture the Eagles winning this game, and it's not like I went out and raised holy hell. Like 6 years ago, I would have went out to where all the people were in Frankfurt and Cotman and raised hell, gotten drunk, thrown bottles places, given us a bad name, punched a horse. I don't know. I would have done anything. Someone punched a horse. For the record, you looked at me like, go ahead. No, someone got arrested for punching a horse.
Wow.
That's awesome. Shout out.
The guy who punched a horse.
But it's like time's going by too quick for me to even soak it all in. It's like I could picture us winning the Super Bowl and me not even having a chance to get so drunk I forget my name and binge for 9 days and like go crazy and drop to my knees and scream and break something. I don't know. And that's almost like sweet justice. We'll win it, and I won't even enjoy it as much as I enjoyed half the losses.
Yeah, I
don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. We didn't win the Super Bowl, but we made it, and it's a very weird feeling.
Yeah, there's nothing like almost winning it.
Sorry. When they went in 2004, we played the Patriots.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Ironically enough. And Justin Timberlake did the halftime.
He did?
He's doing this year.
Oh, no.
14 years. Well, this could be revenge if you look at it one way.
Yeah.
Or just repeating history.
Yeah.
But
it's cyclic.
My ex-girlfriend, Megan, her roommate was a huge Patriots fan when we were big Eagles fans. So I was watching it in her school in the University of Scranton. And I remember we lost, and I was so drunk and so mad. I picked up her roommate's vacuum cleaner and just hurled it at a wall, and it shattered. I threw a bunch of bottles that night and broke them everywhere. I was an awful person.
Yeah.
But
terrible.
Every few years, we'll call her Kate, messages me on Facebook and says, LOL, you owe me a vacuum. And because I broke up with Megan, I know it's not like a friendly LOL. It's like she's going to come get me for a vacuum cleaner one day.
Every year it gets a little bit better because of the interest.
If I put money on the Eagles to win and I win money, I should buy her a vacuum.
Probably should. But make sure that you can, like, etch an Eagles emblem on it.
Oh, yeah. Or I just give her a crappy vacuum. I don't really feel bad for her. She's got more money than God. But whatever. Anyway, that's where I went with that. That's my smirkish.
It's a dark, despicable place. That's okay. I kind of wish that... I remember watching... same thing in college. Watching the Flyers. They beat... who did they beat? I feel like they beat the Penguins or Tampa Bay in like 7 games.
Washington?
Whatever Primo was it? No, Primo hit it off his foot and then came around and then slammed on Tampa Bay.
That was Tampa.
I remember
Gagne had an OT winner, I believe, in one of those. Yeah.
I remember watching that in like the communal area, and that was the most excited I've ever been about anything. I think in that time frame of that age.
Were you surrounded by Flyers fans? Or
No. This was singular enjoyment by myself. Everyone else was like kind of foreign to hockey.
That's why it felt better for you.
Because you had to revel in it beyond what you could do. Because you had to encompass the group's happiness. Because you knew the happiness was there.
You were a group of happiness, but by yourself.
Yes. And I almost broke a window by launching myself at it like a cannonball.
In a good way, though.
In a good cannonball way, and nothing broke. But I think it would have cemented how much I love hockey if they had won. Like, that would have been a pinnacle.
Broken that window. Because now that would be a great story.
If it was the Stanley Cup and I fell out of a second floor window, I'd be retelling that story right now. If I didn't die, yeah.
Right. But that makes sense.
Glass shards are probably pretty painful. And two-story fall.
You don't feel pain in the past, do you?
It depends how painful it is.
Here, folks.
Hinting, tugging, pulling. Long chain of time.
Any corrections from the last episode or anything? I did have.
I don't think I made any mistakes.
You hardly ever do, Dan.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
Hardly ever do.
I'm perfect.
That's why I like you.
I'll correct that later.
Well, I did say in our last episode, 106 or so, Mussolini, the dictator.
He was the fastest. Yep.
Right. He loved manga and hentai. They weren't around at the time. It was incorrect.
Yeah.
Really thought he did.
Waifu. He had his own personal waifu.
Pillow wife?
Yeah, except it was in the shape of a Nazi cross. He liked
body pillow.
Yeah.
It's twisted.
It's got...
Do up. It's got extra arms and legs.
hold on a second. I have to see if Amazon has that. Not
a Nazi body pillow?
Yeah. I feel like it might be a thing.
They're coming back. I kind of feel like they might.
Yeah. Just a regular pillow. It doesn't fit around your body. I feel like that's like for like maybe like 2 or 3 pregnant women. Like it was a giant.
They share it?
Yeah.
Because they're all impregnated by Nazis.
Yeah. There is a picture of a guy in between. Okay, I'll just stop. I'll close that window before I get too distracted.
Wow. Sounds distracting.
Full Nazi garb and 2 hentai picture body pillows. Full size. Dreams.
All right, I have a scenario for you.
Oh, yeah?
You're walking your dog. It's like Wednesday. It's Thursday. I don't even know. Let's say it's the morning walk. It's not even the late night one. It's like 6 in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's still cold everywhere. You don't want to be here. Dog's annoying, but you have to do this. You're walking. It's sniffing around like it's about to poop, and you're looking the other way. When you turn back, the dog is sitting on its butt like a human and staring at you. And it says, go into your office and quit your job tomorrow. It looks you in the eye and says this. And you stare at it for a few seconds. And then it goes back to sniffing and it poops eventually. And you're talking to it. You're like, hello, did you say something? Hello, dog. Dog. You're rubbing your eyes. Nothing else happens.
Huh.
Do you do anything different?
I don't think I can. Do you think that's a message from yourself? Do you think it's a message from
no idea.
A higher being?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Would you be freaked out enough to do anything?
I mean,
what if it said, now quitting your job's a pretty big deal. What if it said, don't take Sony Town Pike tomorrow?
Avoid that road like the plague, man.
Yeah. You're like, that's a street down the road. I sometimes take that to work. Would you totally be like, I didn't hear anything, but I'm just taking Morris Road today? Like,
does it say it in your voice or does it say it in someone else's voice? Is it British? Because
British people do have more sweat. You're absolutely correct.
More veracity to their statements?
I don't know. I mean, like you would not take the road though, right? That day, maybe for a day.
Yeah, I think I'd avoid it.
But now, what if it said quit your job? You wouldn't quit your job, right? You'd be like, I seeing things. It's probably
that's got a lot of weight to it. Taking a different path.
Cut off in there? I mean, I don't know. I was just curious.
What's the difference? What's the middle ground? It's like stop eating meat for a month or something. You're just like, what? I don't.
Why did the damn dog pick a month? Like, really, dog? No, because it has to have something that's like an instantaneous thing. Like, don't do this or make sure you play this number. Oh, lottery. I'd play a lottery number.
I would too. Yeah, if a dog tells you to. I mean, whatever a dog.
A dog tells you to. Yeah. What if it says push your wife down some stairs? That's too much.
That connotations. What about? I can't like instantaneous grief, pain. That goes back to what you said about memories. Like, are there any memories that hurt? And there are memories that hurt. It usually doesn't involve you because I think you've healed, but like the
memory,
the possibility.
Not really like, it's not. I don't know. A memory can't hurt you. I think a memory allows you to access the hurt part.
The feelings associated with the hurt, not the actual hurt.
Correct. The memory, I don't think. I guess the memory hurts. I don't know. If you can separate the two, well, maybe you can if it's like super traumatic.
I think I've been through some traumatic things that I still
feel. Remember? Wouldn't cry right
now. I don't cry. It's not a possibility.
Not human.
But if go back to your dog analogy. If your dog said like you have cancer of the pancreas, would you go ahead and get a scan? Like that takes some time and costs some money.
It does. You could set it up though.
Yeah.
Hey doc, can you just X-ray for cancer? MRI? What do you guys do?
Yeah, do all that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. My dog. It's funny. I think I might have cancer. What makes you say that? My dog? I don't know.
He said get a second opinion because you're not going to believe me. My dog. I think that's the threshold though. If it's like $1,000 worth of
not a procedure, a check. Yeah, I could go with that. Interesting.
I'd like this exploratory surgery, doc. I don't know what I have, but I know I have something.
I got a hankering to get some stuff removed, Doc. And you're the remover to do it.
I just want to take pictures and put them on YouTube. Just the whole thing. Inside and out. I do feel good today. I do feel good.
Good. I feel like you feel good.
Yeah. There's a unique circumstance that I think I could bring up. Because the government's shut down, it affects me.
You can do whatever the hell you want, right?
No. But if I was a civil servant, I think so. They usually just take a vacation. They're not allowed to do any work whatsoever. And they get paid.
When you take vacation, is it paid vacation day?
They don't use their vacation for this.
Oh, okay. What do you say? Take a vacation? I thought that was inferred.
No, they are not allowed to work, and they don't get paid until it gets retroactively changed to.
Okay, they get retro pay. Everyone, they never don't get retro pay.
Well, the last time it happened, they got retro pay for a week. So I assume a day they're probably going to give it to them. Why not?
Makes sense. Right.
But I'm sitting in a federal facility, and I'm pretending to do normal work while all these civil servants are leaving in mass exodus of civil servants. They're the most people I've ever seen leave at one time.
So wait, they came to work on government shutdown day?
They're allowed 4 hours of government shutdown time. So they shut down whatever they're doing and then leave. So at 4 hours, everyone left.
Weird.
And I'm sitting there, my contractor is telling me to keep working like normal and use all of the federal facilities that you can. And I'm like, isn't this illegal?
Well, not only that, is it is your boss or whatever kind of being a cheapskate and being like, really, we can't do everything. We should probably let everyone take it easy. But he's like, hey, just keep working really hard.
Yeah. It's the corporate shield mentality where you're just do the best you can. It's well, that doesn't mean anything.
I can't do it with anyone else here.
Yeah, there's 4 people in the office when there's usually 100. I don't know what the hell's going on. So, I am working, and it's just weird. It's just weird.
It's odd. You know what you could say to them, right?
No, I do not.
As they walk by, the word of the day.
What might that be?
Tinkerty tonk.
Tinkerty tonk.
It's an old fashioned way of saying goodbye.
Tinkerty tonk. I'll write
that one down. I'm not sure what nationality started it or whatever, but tinkerty tonk. It sounds funny.
Tinkerty tonk. Use that in a sentence. You just say it like a word.
I think it's just a phrase. Hey, see ya, tinkerty tonk. You gotta use your fingers like this. It's very finger centric. Give them the old tinkerty tonk.
They're gonna be like,
what do you mean, Granddad?
See, the problem is that if I did that in the office, they'd be like, is he?
You're fired.
Yeah. Unless it's you do it to the oldest guy in the office, and he's like, oh, finally, tinkly tonk, tinkly. It's now I gotta do that every time I see him. Every freaking time. Tinkety tonk.
Doesn't it? Sounds pleasant.
Yeah. There's no way to say it in a masculine way, which I think is what makes it fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Tinkety tonk.
Real quick for the podcast, I don't know if the people at home use headphones.
Ooh. Are you wearing 2 right now?
Oh, am I? Well, I'll be damned.
Wow.
It turns out I'm wearing the new Sony WH-1000X M2s.
Huh. Really?
It just came out about a month or 2 ago.
Wow.
Sony's big first foray into wireless noise canceling.
Wireless noise canceling. That's pretty good.
Nice, man. They, Bose has had a stranglehold on the economy with the CQ25s.
Yeah.
They've kind of owned, just no one can match that noise canceling. It's active noise canceling, really. Well, Sony may have actually one-upped them here. It's in the same price point, except this one has Sense engine.
It looks like you just bought that.
What's that?
Did you just buy that?
Yeah, I just bought it today.
Oh, wow.
How convenient.
How much did they cost?
$3.50.
$3.50.
Keep going up.
300 cents.
And you just went down. You literally went down. Yeah. No, I had $189 in Best Buy money.
Oh. So you paid half price. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I haven't decided if I'm keeping them, but they're actually really, they're like, here's the issue I'm having. Mm-hmm. I think noise canceling is really cool. I didn't need it, but like, I got money to burn. Let's go, folks. It's so good. My son was taking a bath tonight, and I slipped them on.
Right out.
I couldn't hear the water filling the tub. I couldn't hear him making noises in there. I couldn't hear anything. I was like, just humming along, closing my eyes, and immediately, like 4 seconds in, I was like, he could be drowning. And I was like, he's good. And then I would do this again, and I'd be like, he's good.
You're rocking yourself to sleep.
But I couldn't enjoy myself because, and then I started doing the dishes with him. And I couldn't hear the TV in the background, him playing. And I just kept picturing my nagging, awful girlfriend in the hallway screaming, "Are you listening to me? Are you listening?" And me just smiling and cleaning dishes and being like, "Oh my God." But like, it's almost like they're too good for me. Huh. They might not be too good for other people. They're too good for me, maybe. I don't know.
Wow. Who are you going to put them in a box and ship them to me? They might be good enough for me.
Yeah, you were like, who cares about this? Now you're like, ooh, they sound nice.
I really want to zone out my entire family and just be able to really enjoy my time on the earth.
If I'm being honest, I actually bought the Bose CQ35s today, which are the exact same price. And I came home and did all my Reddit homework, which I had kind of been doing for a week, except that it was like, if you're on the fence, just buy the Sonys. They have a better sound quality. The only thing the Bose one offers is they feel nicer on your ears. But this one has like 5 hours more battery life. Really cool equalizer you can customize. It matches it in pretty much everything else. And then it has really good like sound quality. Like it sounds like really expensive headphones. Whereas the Bose is like, everyone's like, it's kind of weak. It's kind of like, nice bass, Bose, losers.
So is that direct Bluetooth where you can just dial your phone in and just play?
Correct. It also has something you can input if you want. It also is future-proofed. Because Bose runs on aptX Bluetooth.
Oh, man, you're getting all the words and
listen, acronyms. When you do as much research as I do, I might spend $350 on headphones where I don't know what the F every piece does. But these also support LDAC, and the next one, which is going to come out, it's just a higher fidelity Bluetooth stream. Huh. So, like, it isn't out yet, but it will be. And when it is, I'll be rocking these.
Wow, those will last you a lifetime.
Or most people say they keep their like really nice 300 plus headphones for like 7 years, 4 years, like 5 years. People will replace the cups before anything else.
It's like a house. People stay in a house for 7 years.
I was going with a musical instrument, but yeah. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by Sony WH-1000X M2s. If you get yours, type in the product code UnPander for 0% off, and we get all the proceeds.
Yeah.
So check it out, folks.
Get all those.
Dude, the other really cool thing about these.
Oh yeah.
If you're wearing them before you get to your thing, like, and the noise canceling's on, I can't hear anything. Like, you could be talking to me, I'll be like this. I have no idea. And if I see someone talking to me, it's motion enabled. So I do this, hold my right hand over the cup right here. It turns off all music and turns everything into a microphone for a couple seconds. So it's like,
wow, yes. That's pretty awesome.
And it's like someone talking, and it's like, it's cool. Check out a review of them. I think it's pretty awesome. It's just, again, I don't know if we're going to spend all this on noise canceling. Maybe I'll trade up, but let's hear what you have to say, Dan.
Yeah, I'm on the other end of the spectrum, the color.
The visual?
Yeah. And also cost. Because I bought
$50?
Yeah, no. For $50, I got 3 of these sets. And
my man.
I wrapped the third one as a gift for my wife for Christmas. So I checked a box on that one as well.
Oh, she's got 11 months to get them, huh?
No, this is a little bit old. I wanted to do this last podcast, but we've been dilly-dallying.
Oh, excuse us.
Tinker tattle.
Short on time over here.
Yeah.
Tinker tattle. Go ahead. Tinkerty tonk.
Tinkerty talk. Tinkerty talk. That's
tonk.
Tinkerty tonk. But I wear these, and I thought they'd be too flashy, but I get compliments every day. People are like, "I really like your sunglasses," and I'm like, "Really?
Strangers?
Yeah, complete strangers."
Oh my God, my hair's doing that stuff.
I don't wear the red ones. I have like a blue tint Because these, like, looking at myself, it looks like Doom. Like, this is the coloration that Doom has.
Interesting. Now I want to wear them.
Fires of hell. I feel good, though.
Yo, do everyone a favor. Put them on the camera.
Put them on the camera. Because it does tint. It does tint to the other color. I can't do both because there's 2 cameras, actually. But
Can you just give us one? No?
Let me give you the feel.
Yeah,
there you go. You can see it has a blue tint because this one's red, but I have a blue one that gives you red tint.
I want the red tint one.
But it's 100% UAV, UVA, UVB, all that jazz.
Oh, yeah, all the jazz, baby.
It's very light. Waves gear. They float in water, which I never go into, so I don't have a use for it. But I'm like a vampire or something. I don't know.
Texas could have used them a few months ago.
Yeah. I should have got them before Harvey, but luckily I didn't go in any water. Luckily. Yeah. But yeah, they're nice. I like them. They fit anybody's head.
What name brand?
It's Waves gear.
Oh, I heard the waves. I didn't know. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know it was me.
Get the symbol right there because we're not sponsored in any way by. Ooh.
But if we were, can you imagine the sales for these companies?
Yeah.
They just threw a few $1,000s our way.
They're going to give us some money in retrospect after they've already made their money at millions.
Premium leather. Good Lord.
Oh, boy. Premium leather.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, we've pandered enough on the unpanderers.
Yeah, but it was fun pandering.
Yeah.
I really don't think
we're not selling any of this crap. We're just liking it.
So we done the episode?
I think we run out of time. We might have run out of time. And I think I closed the window I was using. So dang it. I got to go all the way back. Waste my goddamn time.
Folks. You've heard us use a word a lot this episode. Anyone pick up on that word?
Foreshadowing. I feel like this is going to be Pee Wee Herman. What's the word of the day is time! Well, we missed one, yeah.
What did we miss?
I missed the celebrity challenge, but we can go past it.
I totally skipped it. I have one. It sounds so bad. You want to hear it?
Is it terrible? Is it peeing in a diaper or a cup or pooping or something? Bodily function?
It was a celebrity challenge. Everyone screamed, but it was butter building, where you build something out of butter.
Do you have to churn it yourself? Because that would be a challenge.
No. You buy the sticks. Good Lord, we're not animals. Buy the sticks. That can be salted or unsalted, your choice. And I wanted Celine Dion to take on Cher. See the rightful turn back time. If I could. I forget all her songs, but you get what I'm saying. They could butter off. And the crazy thing is, you have 5 minutes to go. You build the craziest sculpture. You want to build a house, like a Lego house, whatever. And then you have double the time to build it to eat it all.
Wow, that's pretty good. I was envisioning a side by side celebrity challenge with.
Here's the trick, though. You don't let them know they're going to eat it till they're done making it.
But I want this to happen on a beach alongside Mario Batali and Emerald Lagasse, and their butter challenge is to rub themselves in butter and get the best suntan.
Double celebrity challenge? Is yours the cook-off version and mine's the sing-off version?
Yeah, I think so. Wow.
Folks, holy smokes.
That would be, holy smokes, folks. That would just be a ridiculous celebrity challenge that I hope happens one day.
We'll donate to a charity. I don't even know what you donate at this point, but I'll do it.
There's 2 charities involved. One of them has to be for hunger. The other one has to be for
sunburn.
I'm hungry for some fried chicken.
Biscuit challenge.
Okay. So main topic, time.
We're on it. Time, folks. It's time. It's time for what?
It's time for time. This is a big topic. We got to really break it off into chunks and chew them down to nothing.
All right.
You going to kick it off? Should I kick it off?
You can kick it off.
Ooh. So origin of time goes back.
Where did time start?
13th century. They started making like crazy clocks.
Were they just sundials?
Well, the sundials go back way, way back. So the origin, I'm going to jump around a lot because there's a lot of different aspects of time.
With time you can, actually.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with the day. So like the day has 24 hours in it. It's because of the sundial is broken into 10 different segments, and then they added an hour before and an hour after for the day. And then the night, they make it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How did they know the night was passing as long as the day was passing? That's what's going to get you messed up.
I don't think they did. I think they just knew what the day was. Because that changes yearly because of the lunar cycle.
Well, we're not getting... now we are jumping around.
The lunar cycle is a month, though. So if you want to go from hours to days, they judged a month by how often the moon rotated the Earth. Wait.
So naturally...
I think it's the shading of the moon.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, before we get corrected.
Before we get corrected.
Where the moon Nazis show up. I don't mean Wolfenstein 2, folks. Or Doom.
There's Nazis in a lot of games.
There are. They're good bad guys. I love shooting Nazis.
Yeah.
I've done it in real life. I just hate to admit it anywhere. Edit that out there.
I'm not going to edit that out.
Oh, well.
That's how we get our viewership.
Our edginess.
Yeah, our edge.
Well,
soft as a pillow. A Nazi pillow.
So let's break time down naturalistically. Everyone knows there's night and day, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't know they're exactly the same length or not the same length or whatever.
Yeah, you're telling your hunter friends come back.
Lunar cycles a month, right?
Yeah.
Now, you understand a year always happens because that's 4 seasons, always repeats, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would figure that out.
Yep.
Is there anything after that that's naturally occurring that you can see? I don't think so.
Beyond a year. See, this is where somehow they knew because I was researching about different segments of time. I don't know if they're just multiples of a year, but they used like olympiad, like the Olympics is every 4 years. Somehow they knew that they wanted to break it down into 4 years. So maybe there's a cyclic element to 4 years that...
Well, 4 years, maybe because 4 seasons. Like they figured maybe in their idiocy, they figured 1 year winter was the longest, 1 year fall was the longest, 1 year summer was the longest, 1 year spring was the longest by a day or two. And then it would just repeat.
Possibly.
Because some years, some seasons do feel longer. And these are primitive folk without calculators.
Sundials, trying to figure things out.
I don't know. But those are the obvious ones, right?
Yeah, at a certain point, it becomes more of a mathematical exercise to figure other elements out about the world, like the physics about world or judging how long it's going to take for something to happen.
Ironically, do you think more time realization or time science is used in the daytime or at nighttime? Because I feel like when you start talking about years and stuff and seasons, they use the stars a lot, didn't they? Right? Because, there's only certain celestial positions that you can see at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the Earth is wobbling.
Right. The 23-degree axis tilt is at 23.5.
Yep.
Come at me, experts. Let's hear you.
23.6.
Is that what it is?
I didn't research that. That's from my high school
that would
brain.
be incredible if you knew that.
I'm going to research
23.9 or 24.5. Hold on. 24.9. That's a lot.
No, it's 23 point something. 23.5. I was real close.
Let the record show. He wins.
It's close.
Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-friggin-doo.
So yeah, they could tell by the celestial beings' bodies that it was wobbling. And I don't know what that told them really.
Well, just that it repeated with the seasons. I mean,
is that a yearly thing that it rotates like on a wobble, or does it wobble and rotate? Maybe that's how they got more years out of it. I probably should have researched this a little bit better.
Oh yeah, because isn't there something that a top does called precession? Thank you. Ooh, you're right on there.
Yeah,
that happens because the wobble is so slow. Like it can be spinning, but the wobble goes slower.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the precession of items on ISS, International Space Station?
No, I didn't. Is that pretty badass to watch?
Yeah. I forget what object it was, but they spin it, and it's like normally spinning, and then the precession comes like it gets a little bit out of whack, so it kind of resets
a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't. It changes a lot. It changes like 90 degrees, and then starts spinning the other way, and then it undoes itself, and then spins the other way.
Oh, we gotta check that out. No, I did not see that. Interesting. I did not see it.
Nazi. I've been Nazi'd.
So, all right. Let's break it down in a different direction.
Sure, spin it.
Same item. Do you know what 1 second is?
So there's a lot of ways to define that. I'm curious where you're going.
Which I find
incredibly fascinating. Average.
Just incredibly what everyone knows.
Normal. Timing. Saying it. 1 Mississippi. That's 1 second.
Yes. It's really close. You ask any kid on the street, hey, Billy, hey, Bobby, hey, Jihad, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever kid you're talking to.
Yeah.
It depends where you're from. We have a lot of Jihads here.
Jared's.
1 second, and they always say, that's just 9,192,631,770 cycles of the radiation between 2 levels of cesium-133.
That's exactly where I was going. That's
and
weird.
I was like, yeah. And then I always look at my paper to make sure they got the number right, and usually they do.
It is 9 million.
The kids in here are smart.
Yeah, super smart. Yeah, this is cesium atom changing states. So every
9. But
it's actually the radio frequency they hit it with.
So hold on, what do? They hit it with a radio frequency, and it what?
Yeah. So the frequency is like exactly timed so that the cesium atom gives off the right amount of energy, and they measure the energy to prove that the frequency of the radio is timed to the cesium atom.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Are you shaking? Are you getting all into this?
I don't know if that's arm.
Yeah, it's probably your arm on the damn desk. But here's my question. So which came first? Our second or this second? Because I don't think a lot of the Greeks or anybody were measuring cesium-133 atoms.
Definitely not. I don't know where the original second came from. Like, what would be the smallest? Like, the only things I looked at were different version of clocks, and it seemed like they were just trying to time even intervals of time. They're trying to figure out, like...
I guess your best bet was to find out an hour or a day. I guess a day is almost easier. Mm-hmm. Except every day is different length. But if you broke a day down and then tried to divide the day into 12 and then divide that into 60 and then divide that into 60, like you would get a second that way, right? Did I do that math right?
Yeah. And then they start modeling different types of clocks. Like there was a water clock where they just kind of let water pull out of
excuse me. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Sorry.
Y'all can suck it.
Yeah. They let water pour out of something, and they figure out that like the amount of like distance it takes is like telling time. Or what I thought was more fascinating was that they started creating these like crazy like spring-like clocks, and they don't really know who made the first clock, but the thing was like ingenious, like the way it kind of like spun and kept time. Like it was the precursor to the pendulum clock, where you like pull a weight and it just swings.
Is it just did those clocks work on the principle that the length of the pendulum is such that the momentum will stay the same and it's always the length will keep it? Right.
Yeah. Keep it timed.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Did you go into the measurements of time in their smallest and largest?
I went to Planck's length, which is what?
Yeah.
This is the distance it could travel on. And
light can travel in a Planck length.
Which is, I don't know.
It's about the size of a nucleus.
Nucleus?
Roughly. There's an actual, it's called a Fermi, whatever the hell a Fermi is.
Oh, Fermi.
Fermi, shout out. He watches the podcast.
Yeah, he's dead.
Big fan of the Unpanders. He's dead.
Yeah. But he does watch it in heaven, or wherever he is. So that one's like a theoretical measure. So like you're starting to get into like the physics of things. Like if you want to,
that's a real measure, isn't it?
It's true, but
theoretical. What the hell's an R second? I mean, that's
if you want to
theoretical too.
If you want to project anything out in time, then you're using like pure time to judge it, which is I don't know how to say it. It's like a
distance. What is it?
No.
I have no idea.
I'm not even saying like travel in time. Like if you say like 1 year from now I'm going to do this thing, like we already have a preset amount of time, and that's measured on the atomic clock.
So how do you measure it in space?
How do you measure time in space?
Yeah.
Like if you're on the space station or if you're not near an atomic clock. Like there's no technology.
And we're talking about something that happens on Beetlejuice's sun.
So yeah, so
Beetlejuice.
You don't have a real sun. You don't have a like every.
Sorry. Just wanted to say it 3 times. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like usually when we talk about like how long a planet takes to rotate around some random star,
Our time, really,
it's our
right?
time. Like their reference time is completely different.
So via time dilation and physics, isn't there time? Could it be different?
I'm going to jump into like animal time. So
okay, interesting. I didn't do this. Go ahead.
So they say that like things with smaller hearts, they perceive time slower. So they live a much faster
Did you read
pace.
how many heartbeats?
How many heartbeats? What?
The average thing has?
Is it similar? Is it similar in all?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Check this. I literally just read this 2 days ago.
Awesome.
When I was drinking or something at night. Had nothing to do with any of this podcast. The reason larger things' hearts beat slower and much smaller creatures like a shrew or a hummingbird, their heart beat much faster.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what they realize is that if you spaced it out over the course of a species or an animal or an individual creature's life, they all tend to have the same amount of heartbeats over a lifespan, which is, I don't know if it was 10 million, 1 million, 100 million. I forget the number, but the number was similar in all animals. Try it out.
I don't know how to do the math. I have to really think about it.
Well, I'm not asking you to figure out.
I want to do it, though.
Well, just type in what I was talking about, but like a Google search. I'm good at Google searches. Large creature, slow heartbeat, small creature, many heartbeat. That might show up what I'm talking about.
So doing like 62 beats per minute, which I think is like a resting heartbeat, over the course of 100 years. That's a lot. That's a lot of years, yeah. That's like 3 billion heartbeats.
It could be a billion then, because your number might be flabbergasted.
Well, our heartbeats are slowest of all, I think, except for like turtles, which I think turtles have slow heartbeats too, but they could live a long time.
They can live to be 100 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, we're getting a little off topic, but what were you talking about with animal time?
I was about to say pretty much the same thing, actually, is that their time could be a lifetime. Like their lifetime could be our lifetime if they perceive time faster than we do. Like a fly might only live like a day, but a day to a fly might be 100 years.
Right, but then do they have seasons? So they don't have seasons.
Yeah, so their gauge of time does not involve planetary observations.
Which is interesting. So are we the perfect time noticers? Or do you think if we span out our life to, let's say, 1,000 years, we would notice other patterns that happen very much? And we just don't really pay attention to them because we live to be like 80 years.
You'd probably start noticing like certain comets come by. You're like, oh,
I don't know. I guess
a decade
you do.
Again. Another decade.
But that doesn't affect your weather, does it? I mean, or like your Earth. Like, I'm talking like flies don't know the seasons happen. Seasons are pretty big deals. It changes the Earth, like everything about the surface of the Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
A comet going by, you might miss that.
Probably.
So you're looking at the ground for like a week straight. Come on.
Maybe it could be like volcanic eruptions or something. Like maybe those are cyclic and we just haven't figured it out yet.
I would think some geek figured it out, though. You don't think?
I don't know.
Including all these numbers? I mean, you might be right. I have no idea.
You go back to the 13th century where they made the first clock and they are like, they just made a clock. I don't know who did it, but it exists.
So before that, we have no recompense of time?
Yeah.
We have no way of measuring stuff beforehand? How about species and like extinctions and stuff?
That would be a crazy thing too. Like if you could exist longer than almost every species, you'd be able to tell like how soon a species would die. You're like, you're flawed.
Going like in a couple thousand years.
Yeah.
Give him 10,000. I'll give him 10.
Let's place bets.
Okay.
Place your bets now.
I don't know.
Whole species gone. It's a crazy thing to think about, though. That a fly is like having like so many thoughts every like half a second. He's just like,
is it? Do you think? Do you think they have more thoughts, or do you think just there's more weight in their thoughts?
I don't know. When I try to swat one out of the air, I swear it knows more than I do.
This is going to sound weird. I think we brought this up before in one of our very first podcasts.
Uh-huh.
I'm really good at swatting flies. Incredible. Like, you would be like, you can't hit that. And I'll use, like, a piece of paper or, like, a rag or a hat, and I'll get a fly. Because I try and...
Do you kill it on first strike? Or does it
Sometimes I just knock it down, but I can step on it afterwards.
Oh. It's confused. It's flailing around.
Yeah, it's on its back. It's like, I just got hit. The trick is I try and perceive the pattern it's doing, which isn't always a pattern. It's more like what we're talking about. Picturing something over a longer span of time.
Yeah, perfect moment to strike.
In a certain way, And the movements are erratic, but it's always moving in one direction. And when you swing at it, you have to figure their senses are such that they're going to see it before it gets there. You want to be where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So if it feels movement, like it's near a wall and you're swinging at it here, it's going to fly away from the wall because whatever. So your thought is, I want to smash it ahead of where it's going. So it's going to try and get up or away or move. And you've maximized your chances of destroying that piece of shit fly. Excuse me. I got all into it.
As you finish sketching on a notebook where it's going to be.
It works.
Yeah, you just sketch the entire fly's family and its tears. And you're, I got it.
So here's something a little interesting that has to do with what we're talking about.
Sure.
A plunk time.
Plunk.
The time it takes for one
photon to cross.
To be covered in the speed of light in a vacuum.
Uh-huh.
Which, again, this is smaller than
it's the smallest unit of time.
Nucleus. It's the smallest distance you can pretty much imagine.
Yeah.
It's 1 times 10 to the negative 44.
Which is not measurable, but theoretically possible.
0.44 zeros 1, correct?
Yes.
Did I do that right? Okay.
Yes.
I think so. That's how many seconds of Planck length is.
So there's so much happening.
Well, hold on. So what's interesting is, for reference, a millisecond, which is 1,000th of a second, is 10 to the negative 3. Makes sense. 0.0001. Or 0.001.
Yeah.
Thank you. Excuse me. 0.001. I was in the ball. I'm not crazy.
You're
I
close.
just moved the decimal. I moved the decimal.
Yeah.
Do you know what the largest measurement of time is? It's called a Yoda second.
I did not know about this. Yoda second? Why is it still in seconds?
I have no. Anyway.
Star Wars. Go.
It used to be called a Yoda second. They changed it. YODA. They changed it YOTTA. I'm not sure. I think because of Star Wars.
That's like the yottabyte or whatever. Like the exabyte.
Well, it's 1 septillion. So it's 10 to the plus 24.
24.
It breaks down, that many seconds breaks down to 31 quadrillion, 556 trillion, 925 billion, 445 million years. That's insane when you think that many seconds. That's a lot of years, right?
Yeah.
So let me break this down just in what we talked about right there. So that number of seconds, 10 to the plus 24 seconds, which, how many seconds make up a year? A shit ton, right?
Ooh, you're making me search this thing.
I'm just trying to give a spitball here because it's not that important, but it's a lot.
Seconds in Yingling. It's the first thing. It's 3.54 e to the 7th seconds in a year.
Okay.
Which is like a million seconds.
Okay. Million-ish seconds.
Ish. 30 million seconds, I think.
Right. Okay.
No, so, I don't know. Somewhere around there.
Anyway. What's crazy is that 10 to the 24 seconds equals 31 quadrillion years. Think about that. So then think about this. A Planck length is 10 to the negative 44. That's like multiplying the thing by 20. Like, you know how big of a number we just talked about?
Yeah, by
10 to the 24.
Yeah, but it'd be like 10 to the 60. So like, we don't even have a scale for understanding that.
The size of the small amount of time is mind-boggling. It's like
I'm kind of curious what the size of a nucleus is, and then multiply that by. I don't even know.
Dude, your computer's going to say error. So it's just crazy. What we're getting at, though, is that the smallest and the greatest lengths of time
are immeasurable.
Right. And do you think it's interesting to think of time if you thought of it as a physical medium? Like,
if it wasn't abstract.
Let's say it wasn't. Let's say time is real, which we can't prove one way or the other. Could you explore everything going on in a 1 second time frame? Could you explore everything going on in a 2 second time frame? Could you explore everything that could happen in a negative 10 to the negative third time frame? Like, there are all these time frames where things could be happening and we don't even know. I find that fascinating.
It's almost like we can't be in a simulation because there's no way a simulation could account for all of the things that are happening.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Is time infinite?
Until we die as a species.
So until we stop measuring it.
But I think if a species were to come along, they'd probably have to adopt time, wouldn't they? They'd figure out that stuff happens over.
Time and language, I give props to English majors and time in general.
Time. So let me change gears here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's go to
philosophical.
Yeah. This is more philosophical. This is a meaning of life. So it's more like, so you hear all the terms like waste of time, like if I could turn back time, and then all the time in the world. So like people's value of time is really, really high, but also very, very low at the same time.
I agree.
So they wish they could do almost nothing while having all the time in the world. Which is the same time, even if you're anywhere in the world. Which is weird. You follow where I'm going?
Yes. Here, I literally want to read my favorite lyrics. Okay, right? It's by Fish.
Oh, yeah?
For stoners, I don't approve of their activities, or their songs, or their jams, or their culture.
Huh.
But I will say, I thought that burp was going to be bigger. I will say, Fish, character 0, has one of my favorite lyrics. I was taught a month ago to bide my time and take it slow. But then I learned just yesterday to rush and never waste the day. Well, I'm convinced the whole day long that all I learned is always wrong, and things true that I forget, but no one taught that to me yet. And it's just interesting because, people are always like, slow down, smell the roses.
Yeah.
Enjoy time, live life. And everyone else is like, in the same breath, you have to hurry up. Life is fleeting. You only have what you have. Take advantage. Go. It'll be over before you know it. You get conflicting messages about time all the time.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to go a slightly different direction. But I feel like people like to get on a certain track, and like the moving fast is good. Maybe if you're trying to get to a destination, but most people probably aren't getting to a destination. They're just doing the same thing over and over again really fast. And they don't realize that you can just stop and realize that there's another aspect of life or a different direction to go into, and it'd be a happier path.
I don't know that that's time, though. I agree with you. Like, people tend to just want to do the same thing over and over again quicker, more effectively, more efficiently.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about really corporate.
The better thing would be to just stop and do something else sometimes. Yeah,
like a corporate environment. Like today, there's a shutdown, which is completely different than any other day. And if it were just, I'm going to break it down to like weeks. Like if weeks were 5 working days and 2 non-working days every single day, like every single week was the same exact frame of mind. There's no holidays. There's no difference. There's no days off.
5-2, 5-2, 5-2. No pattern.
I feel like people would be stuck in a different kind of rut, and they would never find something new, grow and change and become better, happier. I feel like we go crazy if it was the same, like if we had the same day back to back, like Groundhog Day, we would go completely nuts.
So I'll hit you with 2 things.
Sure.
One of which is I always assume, what if nature was transient and awake and conscious, and we didn't know it? Mm-hmm. Why do they always do the same 4 seasons every year? Why rotate at the same speed? Why do the same things every year? You would think the same thing. Like they would go mad, right?
What if every year, the entire year had the same season? Go crazy.
No. Like, why does nature tend to become cyclical then? Like, why do we want to break cycles and nature wants to create cycles? Is that a human nature thing? Do you think humans we should do different things?
My perspective is different on this one. Because it's good enough for nature.
I'm just saying, buddy, okay?
My perspective is different on this one. I think because we have seasons is the reason we're alive. So if we don't have seasons, then we're not going to We're not going to have the tilt of the Earth. We're not going to have the spin. We're not going to have the same
100% agree.
distance from the
sun. And that's
sun.
good enough for nature. It keeps repeating all this stuff, though.
Yeah, it gives time for certain areas to relax, certain areas to grow.
So what if us working 5 days and then 2 days vacation, 5 days, 2 days vacation for every day for the rest of our lives was better for us? How would you know?
Well, it used to be that they had 6 days work and 1 day off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's probably a period in the industrialized world where they just had everyday work. Like I couldn't conceive of that because there's just too much to do. And that's
what about like early when you had to work every day to just survive, I guess?
Yeah, if you were constantly trying to get food, you had to constantly hunt. Mm-hmm. It's weird because then you would think of life much differently because it'd probably become a pastime. Like you would probably start to enjoy every day because it held the same kind of thrill and excitement.
But you could do it different every day as long as you did the same end result-ish.
Yeah.
You could gather berries one day, gather this one day, do this one day, hunt one day.
I wonder how many of those natives back then were just like, God, get me out of here, please. I'm tired of this. Give me a computer.
I think the ultimate quality of man is unrest.
I always thought that was the scariest part of other people. Like crowds of people, if they're bored and tired of what they're doing, it's not that they're hungry. It's not that they're looking for like a greater meaning. It's that they're just bored. Like they start doing things that don't make sense. And then
the only animal that gets bored?
I don't know. There are other animals that play and they try to enjoy themselves, but I don't know that another animal is just like, oh, not again. Like I've never seen an animal like
Jeez. Like emo teenager animals?
Yeah. They just go off and do their own thing and they're like, screw it. I'll starve. Who cares?
You don't see that a lot.
I just watched a lot of Planet Earth and like none of that.
Which one do you watch? Two?
Both of them. First and second.
Did you see the lizards running from the snakes?
Oh man, there's so many snakes in that valley.
One of my favorite videos. I just saw it last night or 2 nights ago whenever I watched it. And I was like, oh. And the one, they all catch it. And they're like, oh, it's over. And then he's like, he's free. And it's like, and he just flips his little arms. That's one of my favorite videos.
I feel like you can really feel the lizard's perspective. He's just like,
well, did you? I think to set that up because I just saw it 48 hours ago. It was really funny because it's like all he has to do is not move. These snakes are notorious bad at vision. They can only see movement. He should just keep his calm. And there's like this moment where he's looking and the snakes are like right in front of him. And then it's like. Takes off.
Gets the hell out of there. But he dies in the end, doesn't he? He doesn't escape.
He makes it. He jumps to the cliffs and he jumps up the rocks and there's like the slow-mo of him jumping up the rocks at the last minute.
Flailing.
Now they do show like 3 to 4 to 5 of his brothers that get.
Oh yeah, that's probably what I was remembering.
Right, but that's a funny damn video. But anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, none of those animals are very bored. They're very they're very entertaining.
They're all completely honed into the moment. It's crazy.
It's weird, but fighting for your life and survival every minute is entertainment in itself, I guess.
Entertainment for us. Probably the snakes are probably like, I'm going to die if I don't eat this.
They're not bored.
I mean, it could be like you miss your chance and you're just like, oh, there goes that lizard. I would have saved my life. And then you just wait it out till you're dead. I don't know. But there's a lot of lizards. That was the one thing in Planet Earth I thought was not scripted at all. Like the amount of snakes that come out of that canyon is like, oh my God, there's a snake around every little nook and cranny. There's like a snake coming out of it. It's like a nightmare.
They all show up at once. They're like,
this is a snake party? Who are the chicks?
Snake party.
So I kind of want to go to, like the Greeks, they had Chronos.
I've heard of them.
Which is like the quantity of time, which is like every minute, every hour, every day, every month. You can quantify it. And then they have Kairos, which has a special meaning, which is about perceiving time and deciding that you need to act upon it. Like it's not that time is acted upon you, it's that you're deciding what to do with your time and making yourself better because of it. It's a time
for
to
the
act.
rest of your life, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's life or like what you're doing day to day. You could decide to do something more interesting or grow, some sort of physical, mental decision. It's
Makes
also,
sense.
yeah, I don't know if you want to divert into what Kairos was for us. I don't know if that's too personal.
We could save it because once I start, I'll start saying everything, and
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
there was. And just what Jenkins, what he told everyone it was.
I don't know.
They just hold you down and everyone punches you in the balls till you cry. And he told us that. He's like, no, for real.
Emotionally.
Yeah. No. And then he was like, they just punch you over and over in the balls.
Yeah.
And then people start crying.
Now people are going to be confused about what we're talking about. I used to say there was like it feels like almost like an intervention, but with like 30 of your classmates. We have a school.
Did you go, were you one of the early in
No,
the
I was
year
one of the
or
later ones. So it was like one of those things that like last year of high school, there's probably like 500 guys that are seniors graduating.
Oh, yeah.
We all cycle through like maybe once a month. No, it has to be quicker than that. Every 2 weeks, they must have had a Kairos where we all try to like find each other or something, figure ourselves out. But it was like a secret.
Catholic schools have this. It
Really?
just has different names. Yeah, I think Father Judge had it and stuff.
Huh. I thought it was.
Now, there's different degrees of like how real it gets and what they do on these events, but like
Yeah. I didn't look for the
retreats.
religious.
I think they call them religious retreat. Like
Yeah.
Lansdale Catholic had one, I think.
Personally, I think they should just let you like live out in a college dorm for like a week. Like that would have the same
results.
Yeah. Like you'd start bonding with people. You'd be like, I don't even know who you are, but now you're awesome.
You're so right, man. You're so right.
Just put some hash on the table and just let's just play some guitar. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the feel you get.
The feel. It is definitely the feel. You really find life.
Yeah. Which doesn't happen very often. It doesn't allow you the time to take a break and soak it up and make a Kairos
Doesn't
decision.
allow it. Time doesn't allow it. Well, do you know why time always goes forward? It's supposed to backwards or freezes or goes up or down or...
I don't know. I've been doing a lot of programming lately, and the way they keep time is from the epoch, which is like the 1970s. They do milliseconds from the 1970s. So every equation that you do reverts back to like when the epoch began. So every time I do something, I always notice that time grows, and I have to decide whether time is shrinking or growing.
Seconds or what?
Milliseconds.
How many milliseconds are we from the epoch?
Oh, I'd have to look up.
What do you mean? Would you copy and paste it or something every time, or does it not show up ever, or you don't deal with it? You just type in epoch and it does the work for you, or what?
It's part of every computer that you are on. It's measuring time from that.
Sure, and that's why 2K was going to be a problem because some computers weren't programmed for 4 digits in the year, right? Is that why?
Yeah, and then it was going to confuse which days we were on.
Go back, right.
Yeah, which was almost a hoax until you start researching about the companies that went under because they couldn't reprogram their code.
We bought computers like in '97
Uh-huh.
at our company, and they all died.
So we're about 1.5 trillion milliseconds from the epoch.
Oh, badass.
Some people say epoch, but I don't like to syllablicize.
You just did, I guess. I don't even know. That's awesome. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think about that measure of time will go on. When will that measure of time die? I'm gonna have to search that one. It's gonna take me a while, so you have to fill the dead silence of typing.
I will. The reason time moves forward in perception and everything else is entropy. Did you know that?
So they're trying to measure when things will exhaust or something like that, right?
A little bit. In the physical state of things tend to stay together until they're either broken down or mixed together or fall apart. So that things aren't created as much as they are mixed, if that makes sense. Like the universe is headed towards one big mixed
It's
soup.
like the heat death of the universe
Polar,
where everything becomes the same.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Because space is going to mix with planets, is going to mix with this. Like all these molecules that we talk about, like we make a planet here, we have this here, energy here, we got this here, we got forces here, farts are here, gases here, this all here. But eventually it all just
it becomes the same.
Time, will all spread out and all these molecules go wherever. And now we got just one big, huge thing that's vibrating at 1 degree Celsius and nothing's going on, folks.
Whole lot of nothing. No life whatsoever.
In fact, my big hit on Reddit, as it's referred to as, 2.5 thousand hits.
2.5 thousand.
That's a lot of hits.
It is a lot of hits. It's pretty good.
I plugged the unpanders in an edit, and I got 2 responses. LOL, no way, pal, and and just no.
No.
And I was like, okay. And I don't think our views went up, so.
No, they didn't.
But if you type into Wiki the timeline of the far future, this is my big hit. I said things you can check out that are cool. It's a geological, biological, particle physics, mathematical, technology and culture, and astronomical timeline of what they predict will happen with fairly certainty, nothing like specific, what will happen and what year it will happen. Like, for instance, 10,000 years from now, the red supergiant Antares will likely have exploded in supernova. We'll be able to see it. It's nearing the end of its life cycle. They're pretty sure, and we'll pretty much be able to see it with visible the eye. Cool. 25,000 years from now, the northern Martian polar ice cap will recede. They figure within 50,000, could be 25 to 50,000 years, the perihelion precession aspects of the Milankovitch cycle happen. Cool. Like, I don't know. But some of these are really cool. Like, oh, check this one out. 100,000 years, native North American earthworms, such as mega whatever, will naturally spread north through the United States upper Midwest to Canada-U.S. border, recovering from Laurentide ice sheet glaciation, which I guess happened during the Ice Age. It chased them all south. Like they wouldn't grow north of a certain spot in America.
Weird.
But with temperatures going up, and this is assuming a migration rate of 10 meters per year.
So slow precession northward because of the recession of ice.
Correct. Anyway, these aren't written in stone. It's just a cool list. And you look and you start looking through all of them and you're really cool. Like, check this one out. 250,000 years. Lohihi, the youngest volcano in the Hawaiian Emperor Seamount chain, will finally rise above the ocean and make a new island for Hawaii.
So those are the types of things you would see if you were not restricted to 100 years. If you could live like thousands of years, you'd be able to see.
Correct. I don't know that they're cyclical or like you notice anything, but they would be cool to see, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a real badass one.
I will go back to
1 million years, Earth will likely have undergone a supervolcanic eruption large enough to erupt 32,000 kilometers to the third volume of magma, an event comparable to the Tova super eruption 75,000 years ago.
Which will probably kill
Betelgeuse, the star we referenced earlier.
Oh, wow.
1 million years, guys.
You said Betelgeuse?
I did say Betelgeuse. I mean, Betelgeuse the star.
Okay.
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse.
It will explode in a supernova. Check this one out. The explosion is expected to be visible in daylight. That's pretty cool.
That's scary because, like, I feel like so many people will look up at it and just sear their retinas.
Well, no, I mean, because the explosion probably lasts like months. I think it's just going to like look like an exploded thing in the sky that you can see during daylight.
That'd be so crazy if like everything was washed out with sunlight and you just couldn't even like, you'd be like, for like years you couldn't even see. Like, I hate this. Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. So I'm going to bring it back to Y2K.
Good.
So I was talking about the epoch and milliseconds. If programs used a 32-bit integer, which it's programming, they are limited to the year 2038 when they have a similar problem to Y2K where they have to reprogram what they did.
Really? Because so would they have to go to 64-bit?
Yeah, so they have to go to Y238.
Is that what it's called, Y238?
No, but I just named it that.
pretty cool. Yo, I'm Panders, Y238.
Yeah.
You're looking in the future, and we're talking about like Beetlejuice, and you can see it in the sky. Shout out these guys.
Yeah.
Send us money.
Yeah. Send it to our heirs, which will have...
No, I don't care about them. Honestly, let them work for it. Send it to us. Go back in time.
Yeah, put it aside so that you can go back in the future and give it to us right now. When the time travel was invented.
So, do you want to talk about time dilation at all?
We could. I don't know.
That's my favorite thing about time. Which
go ahead.
Funks me up big time.
Good. Go.
So, anyone who's seen Interstellar, starring Matthew McConaughey, big fan of the podcast.
This is going to piss me off.
Why?
I hate that movie. Go.
I thought it was all right. It tackled one of my favorite things, which is time dilation.
Mm-hmm.
When you travel at a certain speed, time passes differently for you than someone else at a standing reference point, or reference point slower than your own.
So this is one of the things in physics that drives me nuts.
This is my favorite thing about physics.
This is
probably the exact reason it drives you nuts.
Yeah, this is probably true, but the faster you move...
It is true. They put atomic clocks in spaceships that go around the Earth, and they have different numbers than the ones that sit here on the surface of the Earth.
I believe that's true, but the atomic clocks are traveling so fast that the vibration has to travel farther than the clocks on the ground.
Sure, I don't care why. What I'm getting at is that time will pass differently. I don't know about if you go in space, you come back to your grandfather, and you're older than whatever. I'm not going to argue with you.
Our measurements of time will become slower, is what you're saying.
Yes.
If you're traveling faster, it becomes slower because the vibrations have to travel farther, which makes the time slower.
Sure, especially if you... Okay.
Go.
No. I mean, why do you hate it?
I hate it because they perceive time as something that's changeable, and I don't think that it is. They're like trying to cheat time, and I think time is the same everywhere. Like, you shouldn't say that time is different because you're moving faster.
Okay, so you don't think time should change with a reference point or something moving?
Yes.
You think you're looking at a grid, and all the stuff on the grid is our lives, our planets, our physics, or whatever, and everything across that grid, you should be able to read. Grid 1 is 1, grid 2 is 2, grid 3 is 3. So anything that moves, it's moving 3 grids in however time. It's moving 4 grids, it's standing still 5 grids of... It's hard with time. Cause
they should all be boxes, and there should be no circles on the grid.
Okay. What's really interesting is that why do you think the speed of light is the same as the speed of radio waves, is the speed of electromagnetics, is the speed of anything that we can theoretically... Like, do you know why they say 300,000 meters per second is the speed limit for everything in the universe?
Not really, but I guess it's the smallest particle as fast as it can go, right?
Correct. It has no mass, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The reason for it is that the way I've heard it described is you can't observe anything otherwise. Like, nothing can happen that we would know of.
There could be like a sublayer to the universe that we just never see or interact with.
That's been inferenced in, I think, a lot of studies and things. Like, there could be a whole other part of the universe we don't even know about that operates above those speeds. But we wouldn't know, because how the frick would we measure it? We can only measure things using light, which our eyes use, sound. We can use whatever waves we can try. We can use radio waves and try and measure something. We can use ultraviolet light. We can use
radiation.
All these tools we use. Every tool we can use on Earth uses light speed. Nothing can go faster. We can't use anything or measure anything faster than light. And it's weird that so many things end up moving at that as their max speed. Is that a coincidence?
That's I really want to go into quantum physics right now, but
I know.
I think it's
I know you do. But
yeah.
You're going to get into like quantum tunneling or something?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That happens faster than light, but no one knows what the frick is going on. Or entanglement, quantum entanglement.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The things
Which
are
is
changing.
I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, things are changing across the globe.
But you don't know until you observe it.
That's why they have 2 people observing it on different sides, and they can tell that it happened at the same time, but not physically connected. There's no way you could see it change because you're not there.
But you don't get to observe it until vision. Correct?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, how do you measure quantum entanglement?
I think you flip a bit, you make it 1 or 0, and then someone else on the other side of the globe says it changed at the same time. So they're like there's no way that you could measure that because it's so fast.
What I'm saying though is there a possibility it changed between you looking at the answer and it being the answer? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it still has to get to you, the viewer, the observer, or whatever device you're using to measure it.
No comment.
All I know is some crazy stuff happens at the speed of light, and it's literally, if I could do anything for it and get paid a salary, it would be study this stuff.
I think you could.
I don't think I could. I've taken no formal courses. I just watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah, well, you have to go to a college for like 10 years. And
okay, thank you.
I don't know if you want to.
All I need is several dozen thousand. Yeah, exactly.
It kind of leads me back to my, like the use of time is more of a constraint now than anything. I think for the most part, humans are bad with having a lot of boredom. Like I think that's the worst thing for a human to do, to have a lot of free time that they can decide awful things or good things with, and most of the time it's awful. But so the corporate world and like the standard we live in is mostly that we have a certain amount of time, and we're spending X amount of hours, days at work, and it just keeps going on and on.
Isn't that good? You just said all this free time ends up in bad.
Yeah, but time should be more freely used so that you can decide what to do with it, which I think
you said it was going to be bad.
Yeah, but I think the masses would be bad. Like if I had a lot of free time, I'd probably...
You do good things?
I don't know if I do good, but I definitely wouldn't do bad. I might do neutral, where I'm doing nothing. I will do neutral.
That should be your platform for president.
I will do neutral.
My name is Dan. I will neither do very good nor bad. I will run neutral things in my time consumption.
I will make sure that you are neither happy nor upset.
Nor sad. Yeah. Raise your voice. Mm-hmm.
Huh? How do you feel about that? And everyone will be like, everyone just kind of quietly look at each other. I guess so. And then they vote yes.
I guess so. That's not bad, right?
Yeah, sure. Sure, why not? That's the check mark when they're voting for people. They have like name, and like, sure, why not? Like, I guess this will work.
Certain teacher we had, yeah, you think praying helps? Yeah, I sure.
Yeah,
whatever.
Who cares?
Go for it. Knock yourself out.
But it's sad that time is more of a constraint than like a, projection into the future, like what you could be. It's the same thing with Chronos and Kairos. Is you could have a constraint where you fit in a system, or you could decide what the system will be.
But can I ask you what you'd ultimately do, even if you did good? Just elongate someone else's time, elongate my time, make me have more free time, make someone else have more free time? What's your ultimate goal, even if you do good?
I feel like I'd eventually find something altruistic. So I'd find something that was good for other people.
Sure. And what does that do for us? Give us more free time?
Give you more happiness and reward. I don't know if that'd give me more free time. It'd be more higher thinking.
How would you do that? I think you're just giving us more free time.
By making people survive longer, I guess. That's what
the goal is. That would give us more free time, right?
Which would then in turn, if people in general were good, which they're not.
Sure, which they're not. We've discussed this. Yeah. Ultimately, you're trying to give us more free time.
I guess we'd figure something out.
Is that the point of life?
I think it's more like understanding and growing and learning. And that's the whole thing about life, is that you're constantly
trying. But you can only do in free time, right?
Yeah.
You can't do it while you're working or surviving, can you?
I don't know that you can. If you're constantly doing physical labor and you can't think about anything else.
So, to reiterate here, you want more free time so you can propose something good that would help mankind, whether it's do more jobs or earn more money or survive longer, so they in turn can have more free time, so they in turn can create more jobs or more survival tactics to help us have more free time. Are you trying to just make everyone live longer and have more free time?
My whole goal is that I'll be entertained by what they do. They'll be like, oh, sweet, they made a new Bluetooth that could go into my wireless headphones, which have advanced noise-canceling technologies.
ANC, active noise canceling. It's different than passive noise canceling, trust me. Trust me.
So it'd just be awesome if the world could progress so much more quickly.
Quickler. I love Quickler. It's my
I was going
favorite
to say
feature.
faster, but...
No, Quickler. I say Quickler all the time. People are like, you're an English major. I'm like, so I can say Quickler.
Yeah.
You think this degree means I can't do whatever the hell I want? I say Quickler all the time. You're going to like it. Interesting.
So that brings us towards the end of our podcast, I think.
It does. We're out of time, folks.
We ran out of time.
Interesting.
I think we covered quite a bit.
Well,
what happened today, Nick?
We ran out of time. For the record, Bill Dan, good friend of mine, good friend of the podcast.
It's okay, Dill Dan. We accept you for who you are.
His
Join the circle.
No, his girlfriend. His birthday was the other day.
Oh yeah. Did she get him a terrible gift and not cook him what he wanted to be cooked?
No. I don't know that she cooks. I actually don't. It's weird. I don't know that.
Oh.
Interesting. Maybe neither of them cook. Maybe that's why I never hear. Because he can't cook. There's no way in hell. Maybe she can. He just doesn't think it's great, so he doesn't mention it. I don't know. I hope I didn't get him in trouble. She took him to the National Museum of American Indians.
Wow.
It's in Washington, D.C.
Is that one of their heritages?
Sounds cool. Hold on. He thought it was just different. They're going to D.C. It's cool. He made a lot of Geronimo jokes. He did a few of these. Whatever. He's been with her for years. She gets his humor.
Yeah.
Then they went to Mitsium Cafe. It's a Native American owned restaurant.
Huh.
It's actually Native American cuisine. Like, it's pretty cool. So he made jokes. He made me smoke 'em long time joke, me hungry joke, a couple standard Dill Dan jokes. Like, you know what I mean? The girl, she usually laughs at this kind of stuff. She wasn't laughing. Turns out on his birthday, she, a month prior, took the 23andMe DNA test.
Uh-huh.
Found out she was Native American. Thought Dan would like that.
Luckily, those are mostly wrong, but that's okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, he spent most of the day making fun of Native Americans, and it turns out his girlfriend is Native American. So.
Huh.
But I mean, shout out. Good news, Dan. Bill Dan.
Mostly wrong.
Mostly wrong.
She can laugh at herself. Or not, depending on how the test really was.
Depending on if you're still together. So, good luck.
It's okay. You'll find somebody else. I'm talking to his...
People.
He's screwed. I'm talking to her, though. She'll
she can find someone else. Nice American boy who works in Texas.
Oh.
Or a gentleman with longer hair and a beard. I'm keeping it for the Eagles.
Okay.
For the folks at home keeping count. I can't shave it now.
Yeah, when you're caught doing something illegal, you can just shave the beard and no one will find out who you are.
I always feel bad for people with face tattoos.
Oh.
Don't do anything illegal.
Yeah, you're never going to get away.
Mm-mm. Can't even get like a job in like a small town in Nowheresville anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Times they are a changing. That's Bob Dylan's son talking about Bob Dylan's song.
So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are the Unpanderers.
We got a lot of socials. We got a lot of places you can donate money to help us pay for headphones.
Yeah, since the debt will kill you.
Well, I mean, I had Best Buy money, but
thank that we. That was a good episode. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
We like it.
We like it a lot, folks.
A lot, folks.
Ting.
Ting.
Have a good night.
Tank.
Tinkery talk? Tinkery. Have a good night.